Welcome into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. As always, we are your hosts. My name is Bruce Heller,
And my name is Brett Parnell.
and let's dive in. So, you came up
Let's
with our idea for this week's episode. Do you want to tell the nice
yeah,
people what
if
we've got going?
for those of you who may be a bit surprised to see this episode is a little early, we're gonna launch it then because we don't know when CBS is gonna actually give us this information. But Bruce and I are gonna give our list for the 10 episodes that we'd like to see as the 10 recap episodes in the lead up to 50.
Oh, I feel better about my list now. I thought we were predicting what that we thought they were going to do.
That is what we're doing. Well, it's kind of both.
Okay.
I mean, that is kind of what we're doing, but also kind of what we want them to do. It doesn't really matter.
Because what I want and what they're going to do are probably two ever so slightly different things.
They might be slightly, but I'm sure there'll be some similarities.
Yeah. Either way, I came up with my list this afternoon because we were planning originally
So did I.
recording a day later. So off
So
the
did
cuff.
I.
So whose list are we going through first?
I figured we'd just go through the first episode of both of them.
Okay, mine aren't in any sort of order.
Okay. I did put them in an order, so if you want to go through yours and I'll go through mine separately, or I can go first, it doesn't matter.
Okay. I was kind of just go. This isn't like 1 through 10 what I want to see. These are the episodes that came to my mind, and I knew there was 3 90-minute ones in there. So
And there's also two that are 2-hour ones.
I missed that.
That's okay.
So my list is wrong.
Well, maybe
I
you're
take
going.
that back. One of the ones I had counted as 90 was a finale, which is probably 2 hours. So
That would be 2 hours. Well, you're probably at least gonna have a chance of getting 7, 8, or 10.
so release time information aside, I guess this is more of a what I would do than what I think than a prediction. Either way,
That's
like
fair.
we said, this is more off the cuff than we normally do because we normally plan things out. So
Yeah,
starting with we have Suri on this season,
we do have Sui on this season.
and there's a lot of episodes you could pick for Suri. But
Across
there's
many
one
seasons.
season and one episode she was in that Probst and Survivor like to milk and reference for everything they can.
So you think we're getting Exile Island, the premiere?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Well, think about what I just said. An episode
She
Suri.
got up off the couch.
Well, yeah, the other one. I forgot
Oh,
about the she got up off the couch thing.
okay.
I am going to
Now I
the
think we
second
probably have the
season.
same episode.
She got up off the couch is probably more likely, but I just know how they are with this episode and this move. So I have the Eric episode, the final 5 of Micronesia.
Yes, I have that one as well. The episode that now I'll if you name any of the same episodes as me, Bruce, just so we don't have to repeat them, I'll say where I have them in the list.
Is this the best Suri episode to use? Probably not, but we both know they like to reference that move any chance they get.
Yeah.
And it's funny you went with when I said that your mind went to the Panama premiere because I didn't even realize there's 2 of those with Suri.
Yeah,
The she got off the couch is more of a phrase than an episode, though.
It is. So I agree with you. This one's on my list as well. Um, I have this as the 5th episode in the series, which I have airing on Friday, February 13th. And that
wow.
is
So
titled.
I have a list of 10 episodes on my phone. I did not assign them dates and time slots like you did.
Well, I looked at what ones were which times and then just did it in cast order. But I'm going to say, yeah, I agree with you. Friday the 13th this year is going to be If It Smells Like a Rat, Give It Cheese, Micronesia.
Is that the name of that
That's the
episode?
title.
All right. Some of
I have
them
the episode titles for my
Some
10.
of them I just described the episode.
Nice.
So And I did rearrange this just now to where I have the three that I have as 90-minute episodes at the end. You said there's two 2 hour ones?
There's two 2 hour ones.
Okay, so I might edit this as we go.
That's okay.
You know what? No, I'm just gonna go with this list anyway. And
Sounds good.
so next up we have Coach. And I've said before, the coachiest episode ever is in Token Chains when he goes to Exile Island. I do have an episode title for the Martyr Approach.
Absolutely. This is also on my list. I think it's going to air if Sully's episode airs on the Friday. This is going to be the episode to air on the Monday, February 16th. I also have the Martyr Approach. This coach trip to Exile Island is just worthy of an Emmy in the editing category and not in the reality competition category.
It's so Coach. It's just him at his peak form.
Yeah. So we're 2 for 2. This episode's going to go quick.
Yeah. And this next one,
the audience will probably get bored of us talking a lot in the lead up to 50. So
yeah,
if it's a half-hour episode, that's good.
Everyone's going to be covering the lead up to 50. So the audience can't get away from it. Just stick with us. We're funny.
Yeah.
This next one.
What's your next one?
I think is a lot because it comes from a season where there's 3 people representing.
Okay.
And I will say, there's another season that has 3 people representing that I have no episodes from, but I'll explain that when we get there. This episode is called Breath First Search. It's the episode in David versus Goliath where Dan goes home after having an idol be nullified.
Interesting. I do have a David versus Goliath episode on my list, but it's not this one. So tell us about it.
Do you have the minority split vote one?
I'd have to look into the actual record, but because I just did everything by title. But
when John goes home, it's the minority split.
Oh no, I don't have that either.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So I'm going to go to the next season.
And I was between 2 episodes for David versus Goliath, and I don't think they were either one. The audience might laugh. It might be. I'm going to have to look that up while you're talking.
Say, while we're here, 46 also has 3 people. I have no 46 episodes in here. We just saw these.
Neither do I.
People. We don't need an update on them. There's 10 episodes for 24 people. You're not going to be able to cover everyone.
No, you won't. I think there will be some that get covered. There will be some that don't, but there's
not an episode from 46 that really stakes out to me as this iconic episode that needs to be shown in this marathon.
Exactly.
So... yes, I did leave an entire season off with 3 representatives. But to be fair, it probably shouldn't have 3 representatives. So, I did David versus Goliath. My next episode comes from the very next season. It comes from Edge of Extinction.
Okay.
And I'm back to not having an episode title.
I'm wondering if this is going to be the same one as me from this season.
It's the one where Devin knowingly plays a fake idol, and Probst tells him it's fake, and he guilt trips the people that gave it to him. And, you just wanted to make me look dumb on TV in front of my kids? Well, I knew I couldn't trust you. That's why I have this. And he pulls out a real idol and plays it.
Yeah.
So the Devin's fake idol, real idol episode is how I wrote it down.
Do you remember who goes home in that episode?
No.
Okay, I forget that aspect. So
I just saw that clip though, and that's just peak him. So
yes.
Next up, this is another one that is a lock, along with Martyr Approach, and there was another one I called a lock. I forget what, but Martyr Approach and this one are the 2 biggest locks for me. This
Okay.
is the Jenna no video episode.
Yep, that is the one that I think is going to lead off this series on Monday, February the 9th. The name is Duplicity.
I mean, how do they not? How would they possibly not include that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably the first episode of Survivor. I mean, there was big moments early on in the season too, but it's the first episode of Survivor that really just like got the whole North American media talking about like how could they do this to this poor single mom on television.
Well, they didn't do it. Her
I
family.
know, but
But
still.
yeah. What if she had won that reward? By the way, what would have happened?
That's a great question. I don't have a clue.
Technology's come a long ways.
If we, that is another thing to figure out if we ever get a chance to get Jeff to answer us on Fighter.
Yeah. But
so we're 3 for 4 so far.
If we
Or 3
ever
for
get
5.
Jeff on here, or like can just send him questions to ask, and we can read them on the show. If
Yeah.
we only get one, it has to be what was the contingency plan in micro.
Yes.
I need that information, and someone has it.
Someone definitely has it. I wonder if it's even like I'm sure nowadays Jeff would have that being the EP, but at the time I wonder if maybe Mark and some corporate people in CBS might be the only ones to know it.
I feel like Jeff knows it by this point.
He probably
Someone
does.
probably would have told him.
I'd imagine.
If not, we'll chase Mark Burnett down and get him on the show.
In the British Embassy in the United States Embassy in London.
Ask him about Survivor and Shark Tank. He created both shows. So
that he did.
So next up, I'm going to your favorite newbie season.
Okay.
I'm going to go wrong here.
Okay.
And I'm a little fuzzy on all the details, but it's after Scott and Jason have made it them versus the girls.
Yeah.
They took the knife and said, make a fire on your own. And then when they did make a fire on their own, the guys poured water on it.
I remember that episode.
Then I don't remember if this is the same episode, but after the fire thing, we go to a challenge. And I want to say immunity, but it might be reward. And it comes down to like Aubrey versus one of the guys in this challenge.
Yeah, that's an immunity challenge.
That episode.
But before that, in the same episode, we have where Jeff lets them make their own teams based on the sabotage and the fighting going on at camp, and Julia decides very publicly to play with the men.
Yeah, align with the people everyone's mad at. Great idea.
Yep. Oh, it is a great idea if you want to win the game.
Yeah, but it also puts a target on you. Like, hey, everyone's mad at these people. Let me publicly make them my allies.
Yeah.
Not a move I'd do. I guess it worked for her, but no, that Aubrey episode though.
Yeah, that is a great Aubrey episode. I do have another episode from this season on my list, but that would be a very likely pick for it. Episode number 9, it's psychological warfare.
That's it. And see, this next one, I'm throwing it back to Australian Outback.
Okay.
If I was to pull one out and actually like adjust for time, because I missed the 2-hour thing, this would probably be one I pull out. But I'm going with Australian Outback when Colby pulls his flag out for the shelter.
Oh, so the premiere.
He thanks God he's a Texan.
Yeah.
That Colby episode. Like, that's our introduction to him.
So this is, I think, your first pre-merge episode. I don't have any on my list, and I noticed that might be something I'm lacking on.
That's just so... That scene is just an encapsulation of him, his first 3
seasons.
It is. Though. His 3rd season, we get a bit more grumpiness, but...
God damn it, Reed.
He seemed like he didn't want to be there in Heroes versus Villains.
Yeah, he really didn't. And surprisingly, he's the longest lasting hero.
Yeah. But hey, he wasn't the most strategic because Rupert put rocks in his pocket.
Yeah.
Which no sarcasm, might be the most strategic thing Rupert did in 4 seasons. So
Absolutely.
good for him. And we're getting into what I had as the 3 90-minute episodes.
So, question for you, because I know they've hypothetically done a few episodes that were 90 minutes, like merge episodes and stuff. Are we on the same page that these 3 episodes are going to be 3 New Era episodes?
Yeah, I was only thinking 90 minutes for 45 and after.
Same. Okay. I think we're on the same track, but.
And I had this first one listed as a 90-minute, but this might probably fill one of the 2 hour time slots because it's the 48 finale.
Interesting. Yeah, that would fill a 2 hour time slot, but a very good pick.
And I know I just said with 46, we just saw these people. We don't need a refresher, and 48's newer.
Yeah.
Part of the 46 thing was there wasn't an episode that stood out to me that displayed those 3 people really well. Maybe Q's like fake quit.
Yeah.
And like him and Tiffany having a rocky relationship after that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people from 46, but you're right. Nothing compared to some of what we get from other players on this cast. Nothing from that cast really stands out as you have to watch this over again.
But I bring that up again to say, you look at this 48 finale, it shows a lot of Kyle and a lot of Camilla because they both made it to the finale. And Joe made it to final 3. But even with Camilla as a juror, you get that scene of her making sure Kyle gets to tell his story. You see their relationship and their alliance shown really well.
Potentially, I would say, I think that
be a part of the storyline on 50. So.
Oh, absolutely, and I think Camilla, in my mind, gets the title of really the best juror of all time for that interjection, and really, she controlled that whole jury the way no one else has.
She gets that title because Neil wasn't allowed to be on the jury.
You're just trying to trigger me.
I'm just being sarcastic and
From everything I've heard, Neil would have voted for Aubrey, obviously, but but from everything I've heard online and such, I don't think the jury responded well to Neil's constant campaigning at Ponderosa. They were kind of annoyed by him.
You know, that kind of tracks based on what we saw on TV and based on his exit from the jury.
Exactly.
I just wanted to see what you'd say, honestly.
So I don't think Neil, I think fans are right to say, oh, Neil would have been an outspoken advocate for Aubrey. I don't think anyone who voted for Michelle would have listened to him.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was just purely me wanting to see what you would say or do. So.
Oh, that was funny.
For my second New Era 90-minute episode slot, I have Emily's boot episode in 45.
Nice.
Because she goes home and it talks a lot about her being so relational and how big of a threat she is.
Yeah.
And it kind of encapsulates her story because they talk at least a little bit about she's got this compelling story. She almost went home first because none of us liked her. Now we're voting her out because too many people like her, and that's a good story.
That is a great story for something like this. I do have a 45 episode. It's not that one, but I really like this pick.
I like the finale of 45. That was fun to watch for me. But
yeah, I'm sure. Just like I like the finale of 32.
Yeah. And rounding out my list, Operation Italy. How can it not?
Yeah.
I think this is also a lock.
Yeah.
There's 3.
That's one that I do have on my list.
Jenna's No Video and Operation Italy.
And I agree, those 3 that you named are on my list.
There's no way they don't use those 3.
No, for sure. All right. That was a great list. I like all yours. Would be really fun to watch for 2 weeks over again next month.
Yeah.
Ready for me to start mine?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I did put this in order based on the schedule that CBS has given us. So, I'm going to try to follow that in the best we can. Starting with the episode, I think is going to kick this whole 10-night series off. And that is on Monday, February 9th. It's a 60-minute episode from Survivor Borneo. The name is Duplicity, where Jenna doesn't get her video.
Yeah.
That's a lock. What else can you do?
I need there to be a loved one's letters reward this time.
Yeah.
And I need whoever wins it to bring her on that, just for this to come full circle.
That would be amazing. Especially if it's like, imagine if they bring both of Jenna's kids out there now that they're like in the late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
That would be amazing to see. My second episode, so on Tuesday, February 10th, is from the Survivor of the Australian Outback, and I picked No Longer Just the Game. So this is where Colby wins an award, does something he's very used to, and rides a horse out to an Australian ranch camp, very much in his Texas atmosphere. And while he's there, the camp floods, leading to probably the biggest natural disaster we've ever seen on Survivor.
Yeah. That's a good one.
It's still to watch that today, especially for newer fans that have seen like in Millennials vs. Gen X and David versus Goliath production evacuate people from the game to Ponderosa because they have to go through a very high-powered storm. It's like seeing Keith out waiting in that river, knowing there's crocodiles in there, knowing the rapids could take you away just to save his rice. That guy risked his life for a bag of rice.
They didn't have food. I wouldn't have thought before doing that either.
Exactly. It's just something that the newer fans need to see.
You know, that's a great episode. It's probably a better pick than my Colby episode. But I'm going to be honest. When you started that sentence with Colby on reward, my mind did not go to him riding a horse through the woods.
I'm guessing it went to the car and his mom?
No. It went
because those were the two Colby episodes I was flipping back and forth with.
Yeah, but when you said reward, my mind took an absolute detour to the coral.
Okay. Yes.
Where he broke pieces of coral off of a 7 Wonder of the World that CBS had to pay a hefty fine because of for.
That's right.
If we ever get Colby on the show, I kind of just want to hear his side of what happened after that. Like, you get a talking to about the coral ever from producers?
Or from the Australian Federal Police Department?
We need to ask him about that if
that
he's
would be
ever
amazing.
On the show.
That would be amazing. Next one. I know I'm going to get a text message from Kevin about this, but I don't care.
Oh, no.
We're into 2-hour episodes, so I am going to pick Not Going Down Without a Fight from Survivor Korong, and this is the finale.
So your Aubrey episode is the one where she loses.
Yes, and I thought about putting Ozzy's episode in this spot as well. I mean, Aubrey came in with such a big title and like being favorite, and she's been fighting for redemption ever since through multiple seasons. So I think if Aubrey goes deep in this season, which I feel she has a good chance to do, maybe goes all the way to the end again, who knows? I think this could be an episode to kind of tee that up of Aubrey wants this so bad, it got taken out of her by someone who outplayed her at the end, and now she's back fighting for another chance.
What you're saying makes sense. I think they're going to want to show her in a good light, so they'll show my episode of her winning that challenge. But
that makes sense.
Nonetheless, I just had a thought in my head, and I'm rooting.
Go ahead.
If Dee doesn't win, I think it would be great for Aubrey to end up on your draft team and then win, and that be how you finally win a draft.
That would be amazing.
Finally winning. That would be amazing. Such good content for us show-wise.
I would love
There's
that.
other people I'm rooting for other than Aubrey, but if she ends up on your draft team somehow and then gets you a win in the draft, would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Next, we have Thursday, February 12th. This is another 2-hour episode, but it's not a finale. I was close to putting this one as the Aubrey Michelle finale and doing Aussie Yule the night before, but I cut that Cook Islands one. And I decided to put a 2-hour non-finale, and this is Tribal Lines Are Blurred from David versus Goliath. So there's 250. Even Mike has a quiet episode here, which is unfortunate, but there's two players from 50 that really make their mark in this episode. And it's when Christian goes head-to-head against Alec for immunity.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also when Angelina attempts to get rice for the tribe.
Well, she did, and then never let us forget about it.
Yeah.
I will say, you mentioned one of mine was a pre-merge episode.
Yeah.
They could do that with David versus Goliath and do the freaking jacket episode.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think they will, but that's absolutely something they could do.
Absolutely. There's a lot of good Angelina episodes, whether you love her or hate her.
Yeah. And
So
the promo shots we got from Dalton Ross and EW, she does not have a jacket, by the way. I was really hoping in at least some promo shots we'd get her in just like this giant parka.
But Genevieve is representing the Great White North in her red jacket.
I know. There is a jacket involved, and it's not Angelina's, and that's hilarious.
But if Genevieve was to get voted out and give her jacket to Angelina, that will just make memorable television.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to round out the first week of this sort of halfway with an episode we've already talked about, and that's If It Smells Like a Rat, Give It Cheese. There's no way we're not getting that Eric clip.
I'm going to put it on lock status, but I'm fairly confident in this. I think Kevin is almost the other way. I think he's convinced himself they're not going to use it, but I think he's also of the mindset that they're going to try to represent everyone on this cast, and they're just not going to do that.
And also, I mean, yes, we didn't get her, but do you not think that with the hype that came up earlier that they're at least going to try to give the fans one little bit of Amanda?
I think there's a chance what they do with Sari is they go to Game Changers and do the balance beam episode. Because Probst talks about that a lot as one of his favorite moments from shooting the show.
Yeah.
He kept trying that balance beam.
So the next episode I have to lead off the next week, Monday the 16th, is going to be the murder approach, which we've already spoke about. So I am, I've left through my 2-hour episodes. I went into New School Survivor, but I'm into the second week still talking about old school episodes, so that kind of shows you which way I was going.
Bryce and Wendell think the old school players are going to do really well this time.
Interesting. It's going to be fun to watch no matter what.
Yeah.
So we already mentioned this, but that editing is just amazing. You can look at this episode many different ways. All the drama surrounding everything that Coach is doing is just so stereotypical Coach that makes for amazing television.
Yeah.
I have one more New School episode before we hit the 3 90-minute New Era episodes. And it is from Survivor Edge of Extinction. It is not the episode you had. I have Idol or Bust. When Devins ends up winning immunity and then pretending to play an idol before he blindsides Aurora.
Nice.
So that's one episode before the finale. When you're at the final 7, if you count Underwood.
Nice.
Now, going into my 3 New Era episodes, and I think you might be right on this one over me, but I'll just go with the one I wrote down anyway, though you made a good case. I'm going to go with, on Wednesday, the 18th of February, Following a Dead Horse to Water. that is from season 45. It's the return of the auction.
There you go.
So we bring the auction back. Emily gets the cheese and the glass of wine. Gives us some amazing confessionals there. And it's where we see Emily make her first move to really go from being in behind to in charge of this game with the Kelly blindside.
Yeah. You also just wanted to include it because it involves wine.
Yeah. But I mean, who doesn't remember Kelly's exit in terms of New Era exits?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Thursday, the 19th of February, is where I have Operation Italy, one before the end.
Nice.
So, like we said, this one has to be a lock. Yeah. I know I was away when it happened, and just watching the internet blow up about this was the best Survivor episode of the New Era, and then to come home and see it was amazing. What Sam, Genevieve, and Andy were able to do at the reward. I mean, it's still playing out today with Operation Tres Leches.
Yeah.
That people are now remembering this episode and trying to basically rehash it out 2 seasons later.
And not to be too repetitive, I don't want to bore our audience, but I can't hear this episode and not give a shout out to Kevin for coming on our show in your place.
Yeah.
Planting his flag, declaring Andy was going to be the winner of the season.
Yeah.
For Andy to then go home next. So that just makes me smile to point that out a little bit. And if I was sending this to him a text, I would get a middle finger emoji back. But he's not here to stop me. So
you still probably will when he listens to it.
Oh, it's fine. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but Kevin's emojis mean nothing to me. I feed off of them.
So the last episode that I'm going to do in this series is from Survivor 48. It is a different one than you mentioned, though. I have Icarius Time, which is when Joe joins that full immunity club, cementing himself as being one of the most physical players in the show. And in the same episode, Kyle and Camilla blindside Shahina and take control of the game. In what was a pretty boring season until that blindside happens and you're like, whoa, this season isn't predictable anymore.
Most people would argue it was still a boring season, but yeah.
Fair. I mean, I thought the last 35% of it was amazing. I thought the first 65% of it was so-so.
Yeah, it was predictable, but the people in power were the people I came in rooting for, so I was okay with predictable.
Yeah.
So, nice.
So that brings us to the end of the episode. A bit of a shorter one than usual, but hey, we're definitely excited to watch these. We'll probably be doing a fantasy draft in the next couple of weeks, cast assessment.
Yeah.
Coming up after that. And then we'll be watching all of these episodes. I mean, whichever ones they pick, not which ones we pick, but we'll have 2 weeks of Survivor on every single night, take a little bit of a break, and then we'll be at the premiere of 50.
Yeah.
Want to wrap it up with an online blindside first boot?
Yeah, who's going first?
Do you have one? Do you want me to have one?
You can go first.
Okay. I am going to go with 3 players. I'm going to go with 3 players from the same season here that were all kind of involved one way or another that aren't in the same move that aren't on 50. So your options are that we talked about Sam, Andy, and Caroline.
Ooh, I've met 2 of these 3. Caroline was there. I just didn't get to meet her.
Oh, no, that's too bad.
I've seen Sam at Final Tribal. I have no interest in competing against that.
Yeah.
I'm going to align with Andy and blindside Sam and first boot Caroline.
Okay. Nice. I am going to. I agree with you that I have no interest in competing with that. I'm going to the first boot Sam after that final, even though he didn't win. You could make just as good of a case that he should have. I'm going to align with Caroline and blindside Andy.
Nice. So I'm going to give you close allies of 50 contestants. Ready?
Yep.
You have Rafe Judkins, Stephanie's top ally in Guatemala. Since we just talked about 48, you get Eva, who's like me, a huge hockey fan, and Joe's top ally is on 50. And I am going to go with, for the last one, sure, let's go with this. Since we talked about him, I'll give you Neil, who's representing Aubrey from 50. And they were close allies.
They were.
Who knows where that game goes if he doesn't get medevac? The world may never know.
I just told you where it goes. I'm gonna first boot Rafe.
No, I'm not talking about if he was still on the jury. If he doesn't get medevac from the game.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother story. No one knows.
No, I know. It's just you've told me before. People have tried to tell you they think what's gonna happen. So
yeah. I'm gonna first boot Rafe. We have seen Rafe be a completely bitter juror in the case of him directly telling Danny, I'll relieve you of your promise, and then instantly that night saying he's going to vote for Stephanie.
Stephanie was also his top ally, though.
I know.
But, yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I don't want him on the jury, and I think he would be very difficult to beat.
Yeah.
So therefore, first boot, I think, is my only choice. This is going to surprise you. I'm going to align with Neil.
I'm not surprised that
I think
you don't
Neil
dislike him.
I don't dislike him. I dislike what he did when he got voted off the jury, but he's a competitive player and is a lifelong Survivor fan that just wanted to be on the jury, and he had a moment. I think Neil is a very loyal ally. I think Neil would be somebody who you could trust to work with in the game. But I also think, kind of like we saw, that if he gets on the wrong side of you, if you do have to blindside him, he will be very passionate on the jury in one direction. And that's not great to go against. It's great to sit next to. I think Eva, on the other hand, would be a much more balanced and inquisitive juror. So I'd prefer her to be in that jury role to vote for me to win.
You know what? When I said I'm first booting Rafe, the bitter juror Danny thing, not why. It's just he and Stephanie ran that game together, and I'm terrified of sitting next to that guy at the end.
Yeah.
I came into this thinking my strategy would be, well, it's a proven theory if you can sit next to Eva at the end and win. But hearing you talk about Neil and thinking about how bitter he was about getting removed from the jury, I'm scared of blindsiding him. And if I first boot him, that means I have to give Rafe footing, which is even more terrifying. So even though I'd rather work with Eva, I feel like I kind of have to align with Neil, because what else can you do with him? Because he and Rafe both there means you have to align with him, basically.
Yeah,
because if you blindside Rafe at the merge, you're betting on him not gaining enough traction.
That's right.
But I'd rather align with Eva than Neil. I just don't want to blindside Neil. So you kind of changed my mind here. Interesting. But
I changed more minds in a minute than Neil would have on the jury.
I said those three thinking I'd align with Eva and blindside Neil, but you make a good point. That guy's not going to take being blindsided well.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, that wraps up our show for the week. We'll post this, like we said, tomorrow, so that in case CBS puts it out, This was filmed on Thursday, the 8th of January. If CBS doesn't put it out, oh well. People will be like, we overreacted for nothing. Whatever.
Oh well, it was still fun.
It was fun. And that means that, wait, if it's the 8th of January, that means it will, when you guys hear this, it'll be the 9th. And that is 1 month before episode 1 of this 10-episode series.
There you go. Watch them not release the episode titles if they do it like a week before.
Watch them not even do it till the night of. You just put it on and see what's there.
I think the most realistic scenario is they don't tell us in advance. I think we find out each night when the episode airs.
I could see that.
Because that's how TV works. Like, I mean, I guess there's a TV guide. You can look ahead and find out like what episode of a rerun sitcom will be airing, but they don't announce it to you. We'll see. Dalton Ross has us freaked out that we're going to lose content.
Yeah.
He has all this information he's going to read. So, come on our show.
And with that, grab your coaches and head back to camp. Yeah, please do. That would be amazing.
Bye, everyone.